Hello and welcome to 64 Squares Official. In today's video, let's take a look at one of the best games from the 1980 Chess Olympiad in Valletta, Malta. This tournament featured the strongest national teams in the world battling for supremacy. Representing the mighty Soviet Union was the young Garry Kasparov, just 17 years of age, already considered one of the brightest talents in world chess. Although he had not yet become world champion, his dynamic style, deep opening preparation, and fearless attacking instincts were beginning to astonish the chess world. His opponent, Slavoljub Marjanović of Yugoslavia, was a respected Grandmaster renowned for his solid positional understanding and opening knowledge. Facing Kasparov, however, required far more than solid play. It demanded surviving one of the greatest attacking minds the game has ever known. Today's game is a masterpiece of strategic build-up, followed by a devastating kingside attack, culminating in one of Kasparov's finest early attacking victories. So now let's jump into the game. d4 and knight to f6. Kasparov begins with the queen's pawn, keeping his opening options flexible. Marjanović responds naturally by controlling the center. Now c4 and e6. White occupies more central space while black prepares the Queen's Indian or Nimzo Indian structures. Now knight to f3 and b6. Black chooses the King's Indian defense, aiming to develop the bishop to b7 where it pressures the long diagonal. Now g3. Instead of immediate queenside development, Kasparov fianchettos his bishop. This setup gives white long-term pressure on the center while maintaining flexibility. He later stated that he was facing a temporary crisis with the a3 system, so he started experimenting with g3. Now bishop to b7, black develops naturally. Now bishop to g2 and bishop to e7. Both sides complete their kingside development. Now both sides goes for kingside castling. Kings safely tucked away. Everything appears completely normal, but Kasparov has something much sharper in mind. d5. The first surprise of the game. Instead of a quiet development, white immediately sacrifices a pawn. This aggressive line was still relatively new in 80s and Marjanović was unlikely to have prepared for its tactical complications. But this sacrifice has lost much of its appeal in the computer age, but it nevertheless remains a dangerous surprise and can be deadly if black is unprepared. Kasparov values initiative over material. Now e takes d5, black accepts the challenge. Now knight to h4, an extremely energetic move. Instead of recovering the pawn immediately, white prepares to jump into f5, where the knight becomes a dangerous attacking piece. Every move is aimed toward the enemy king. Now c6, black reinforces the center, a principled response. Now c takes d5 and knight takes d5. Black returns the center to stability while remaining a pawn ahead. Now knight to f5, exactly where the knight wanted to go. The knight attacks e7 and controls g7 and creates numerous tactical threats. Now knight to c7. The knight retreats in order to support d5. Defensively correct but slightly passive. Now knight to c3. Development with pressure. White's pieces are harmoniously coordinated. Now d5. Black finally establishes a strong central presence. Positionally, black appears comfortable, yet Kasparov's attack is only beginning. Now e4, excellent central break. White opens lines while activating every piece. The bishop on g2 suddenly becomes much stronger. Now bishop to f6, a very accurate defensive move. Black prevents e5 and strengthening g7. Now e takes d5, white opens additional lines. The center begins to dissolve. Now c takes d5, black maintains his extra pawn. Now bishop to f4, another developing move with purpose. The bishop eyes c7 and e5 while increasing pressure. Now knight b to a6, black finishes development. Materially, black is better. Positionally, everything appears under control. Now rook to e1, classic Kasparov, no rushing, no unsound sacrifices, simply bringing another piece into the attack. Every white piece now contributes. White now has an open rook file. Now queen to d7, attacking the knight on f5. Black connects the rooks and defends. Still everything seems acceptable. Now bishop to h3, a beautiful improvement. The bishop protects the knight on f5 and threatens the powerful knight to h6 check and thereby win the rook on d7. Suddenly black must calculate carefully. Now king to h8. The losing mistake of the game. It looks perfectly logical, stepping away from future checks. Unfortunately, this move removes tactical flexibility. Black misses the coming tactical storm. Now knight to e4. Black cannot play d takes e4, then black will lose its queen. The move that makes this game immortal, a magnificent knight leap. At first glance, it does not appear crushing, but look closer. The knight attacks critical squares. The bishop on f6 becomes overloaded. Every white piece now points toward the king. The attack reaches critical mass. Kasparov senses that black's king has run out of defenders. Now bishop takes b2, attacking the rook on a1. Greed over defense. Instead of fighting for survival, black grabs a pawn. Now the attack becomes unstoppable. And here comes knight to g5. A brilliant move. Kasparov completely ignores material. Every move increases pressure. The threat of queen to h5 becomes overwhelming. Notice that every white piece participates. The queen, both the bishops, both knights, and even the rook on e1. This is perfect attacking coordination. Now queen to c6. Preparing for ideas like d4 and then queen to h1. A desperate defensive move. Black attempts to stop the queen to h5. And even queen to h6 ideas. A desperate defensive move. Black attempts to stop queen to h5. But another tactical blow follows. Now knight to e7. Attacking the queen on c6. Another spectacular knight move. The knight jumps deep into enemy territory. It attacks the queen, cuts off escape squares, supports decisive mating ideas. Every move now gains time. Now queen to f6. This is a force move. Black tries to regroup, but it's too late. Now knight takes h7, the final sacrifice. One knight crashes into the king's shelter. White tears apart the pawn cover. The king is completely exposed. Notice the incredible calculation. If king takes h7, then queen to h5 check, followed by bishop to f5 checkmate. Black cannot accept the sacrifice. So queen to d4. Black offers exchange of queens. The queen tries to defend, but white's attack is already decisive. Now queen to h5. Now every attacking idea comes together. The queen now joins the attack. Mate threats appear everywhere. Black's pieces are spectators. Now g6, attacking the queen on h5. This is a force move. The only way to prevent immediate mate. Now queen to h4, a subtle retreat. Rather than forcing matters immediately, Kasparov preserves every threat. The queen now attacks from another angle while maintaining complete control. Now bishop takes a1. Black grabs another rook. Material count no longer matters. His king is completely lost. Now knight to f6, discovered check. A beautiful finishing move. The knight jumps with check. Now every escape square is covered. If black plays king to g7, then queen to h6 check. And after king takes f6, comes bishop to g5 checkmate. Because there are no escape squares for a black. A picture perfect checkmate. Seeing this unavoidable finish, Marjanović resigned the game. Now let's take a look at the game summary. This game is a perfect lesson in attacking chess. Kasparov never rushed. He first accepted a pawn sacrifice, developed every piece, increased pressure one move at a time, waited for black's only mistake, and exploded with a series of stunning knight maneuvers. The sequence knight e4, knight to g5, knight to e7, and knight takes h7, and knight to f6 check is one of the finest demonstrations of coordinated attacking play ever seen. The remarkable feature of this game is that nearly every white piece participated in the attack, while black's queenside army never had a chance to help defend its king. Kasparov proved that in chess, piece activity, initiative, and coordination can outweigh material, turning a seemingly balanced position into a breathtaking attacking masterpiece. This game remains one of Garry Kasparov's greatest early attacking masterpieces and showcases the style that would eventually make him one of the strongest players in chess history. Deep preparation, relentless initiative, precise calculation, and fearless sacrifices. If you enjoyed this analysis and want to see more legendary games, brilliant combinations, and instructive chess content, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next chess masterpiece. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.